We have everyone. I can see Bill and Carrie and Terrell. Am I missing people?
Well, me, but Josh.
Oh, now I can see you. When you spoke up, then your face came into picture. Okay.
So Nick, you have a quorum. Sherry is supposed to be here. Don't know if she's running late. And then Brienne did not respond.
Well, thank you very much, Lana. I appreciate that. And thank you for staying to set up the call.
No big deal.
Is Andrew there?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Good deal. Well, uh, might as well call the meeting to order. I'd like to call the meeting to order right now. And I guess the first thing we're going to do is do roll call. And Andrew, would you like to keep track of who's there, or you want to do a roll call, please, Andrew?
It's recording, so you can run it from there.
Okay, really good. So, representative for the city, Andrew.
Yep.
Okay, Carrie,
Yep.
Josh Kapfer,
Yep.
Carol McCormick,
Here.
Bill,
Yep.
and Sherry Stanek.
Is walking in the door.
Hey, Nick.
Yay! Awesome, got Sherry. And then, how about Ryan Tevis?
Ryan's not on here anymore.
He's not on.
Okay. And is there anyone else?
Sure. You.
Well, I usually take one.
Oh, myself, Nick Alt. I'm present. And we have one caller. You want to state your name?
Pat Blackmer.
Pat Blackmer. Okay. So we're okay with the roll call. Then we'll go to approve the agenda. Would anyone like to accept the agenda as is?
I move to approve the agenda.
We have a second on that.
Second.
Okay,
Josh.
the agenda. Josh's seconded. Okay. So the consent agenda, items on the consent agenda will be approved together unless any committee member requests that an item be removed for individual consideration. At this point in time, we have a 3-minute period where we can hear citizens' comments. Is there any citizens that want to have comments? Hearing none, we'll move on. Treasurer's report. Jerry, would you like to give us the updated treasurer's report?
I would. We have kind of a lot of stuff to talk about here. If you remember, I don't think you were here, Nick, but you probably heard it at a meeting when I wasn't here and you were.
Yep.
Years ago, when Karen Coburn was still the chair of Urban Forestry and Chuck Noss was still the streets guy who sat where Andy is, he recommended we were given $800 from Peter Underwood and his wife. They raised bees and made honey, sold honey in town. They've since moved from here. But they wanted to put that $800 toward, which was their honey earnings for the year. They wanted to put it, give it to the UFC so that we could use it for educational programs on bees and birds and trees and so on. And Chuck at the time recommended that we get a regular checking account and gave me the city's tax ID to go and open it so that we weren't paying fees and stuff like that. And so we went to Premier Bank, we opened the checking account. We've had donations at various times, previous members of the board, this is not telling you all what to do, but have donated money to our checking account and stuff in order to have operating funds because we are not budgeted by the city. the instructions we were given at the time from Cameron Clapper were that when we had expenses, we could submit them. If they were going to be substantial, we would talk to them ahead of time, get approval by council, and then get reimbursed. And so that's how things have operated. Recently, Karen Dieter, who is the comptroller for the city, told Kevin that since we have a checking account that has a city tax ID number on it, that it is something that has to be available to be audited and viewed by the city. That because it is basically petty cash, or we viewed it as petty cash, that's not okay with them, and that we have two choices. We can either close the current checking account and with the city's tax ID on it, and turn the money over to the city for deposit into Fund 245, which is where urban forestry and parks money is kept. And then the city will be able to front us money for the tree sale and other projects, or close the current account and open a new account not associated with the city's tax ID. The city will issue us a check for what they hold in for us in account 245, which at this moment is $1,311.76. And then they will no longer front us funds for the trees, for the tree sale or for projects. So then we'd be on our own. We've never been a separate entity. We aren't a 501(c)(3). We don't have money coming in. So we are an advisory committee to the city. So I think it's pretty clear, in my mind anyway, I think we have to close the account and put the money into the park fund.
I'm gonna add some clarity to this here. The city is not telling us that we have to do one or the other. The city does want to work with us, but we will have to close the account with the city tax ID on it regardless. Now, that doesn't mean that they won't support us for the tree sale. It just means that we have to close that account, and if we want to have that money stored somewhere, we're going to have to store it under a different tax ID.
Except, Nick, that's not what Karen Dieter said, and she's the comptroller, and these are her guidelines. She's the one telling us that we have to do this. So, I mean, it doesn't, I suppose it makes no difference whether we have our own checkbook. Well, it makes a big difference. Actually, it makes a big difference, because I know the first year or so after the first year of the Arboretum stuff, we would put in receipts, and sometimes it would be a year and a half, and people would still be waiting for their refunds, their checks back. You can attest to that. I can attest to that. You know, we were told by Eric Betcher when we started to apply for the urban forestry grant, that the council approved us applying for and stuff in order to get the Arboretum started. We were told that 5,000 of that 25,000 when it was awarded would go into a maintenance fund for the Arboretum so that we could work on signage, so that we could buy plants, so that we could continue to develop it. Unfortunately, that was words. Eric never wrote anything down, and Kevin said, I can't just take your word for it. So even though we got the $25,000 grant for the city, nothing came to us, to urban forestry, from that $25,000. And so, I mean, we aren't a private entity. We are an arm of the city. And Karen was very clear that we had two choices. Either we close this and give them the money, or we open a different account, close this account, open a different account unassociated with the tax ID, the city's tax ID, and no longer expect financial support from the city.
And I can just mention on this, I did write a message to the city, whatever the guy's name is, the one that leads the city president, and
John.
yeah, John. And I said, hey, every year, last 3 years, we've always did this tree sale. We've earned money on it every year. We've given free trees to the city. You've just taken the money. I says, hey, you know what? We gave you, there's 25,000. We didn't give it to you. You just took it. You know what? We're done with that. And what we can do in the future is we can have our money, get our money either. You can still work with us if you want. They don't have to. City, I can use a guarantor just like it did last year. Or if the city wants to buy the trees, we will pay them for the trees, whatever it costs, and then whatever's extra, we will keep, and then we can still donate to the city if we want with that money, or we can use the money for education or use it for what I would suggest that we still donate some money to the city, or we earmark it for something. But I would say the city is very much strong arming us right now, or acting like they're strong arming us. And you know what? We are doing the work. We are the ones bringing in the money. We can walk away from the whole thing. The city gets nothing, and it can be done. Or they can work with us, and hey, we can continue to um, send some money to the city and get our requests, and we can work together. I think it would be best for the city to look at it that way. They can strong arm us. They can say, hey, we're done with this. We can walk away. It can be done. So I
Well,
mean, that's where we're at right now with the city.
keep in mind, Nick, it isn't strong arming, it's just law. It's just the law. Anything that has their tax ID number on it, they have to be able to account for, they have to be able to audit. So when Chuck told us to do that, he had good intentions because he said, you don't want to just throw that money into that slush fund, talking about the city.
Yep.
At the time, he said, you may never see it again. But the law is the law. And
Absolutely, absolutely, Sherry. The law is the law. They need to account for their money, and they need to know where their money's at. Now, this money that was in this account was never the money that was used to buy trees in the past. They
no,
they bought the trees from their regular account, and then they got paid back in their regular account before. That's what's always happened. It's never come from the urban forestry account.
no, no, this account was set up as petty cash. So like if we're having a bird fair, like when we had our big bird fair 3 or 4 years ago, before the pandemic, um, and we needed supplies to educational supplies and things like that, or when we were going to schools to educate kids about oak trees uh, and wanted to paint a giant oak tree that we could take with us to the schools for the kids to put birds and stuff on. It enabled us, instead of having to apply for this money ahead of time and wait however long until a check was written, it allowed us to go and get the stuff that we needed, have our event, and not have to put money in for reimbursement, because it was already donated money that had been given to us. But that's kind of neither here nor there at
I,
this
I
point.
think I think what we need right now is, well, the city is going to have us close that account no matter what. And I think one thing that we can do is solicit the banks and say, hey, this is something we're doing for the city. Would you be willing to give us a checking account or a savings account free, as in that is their portion? They're allowing us to have it free, as in their portion of helping us. So we solicit a bank. It might not be the same bank that we work with might still want to work with us, but we can go to other banks as well if that one doesn't want to work with us and say, hey, this is what we're doing this for, and then see if they'll allow us to have an account with them, knowing knowing that it will cost them some sort of money to service that account over the year. but they are providing us that as a service free to us. I think that will still give us an account. We'll still be able to use it. It won't be associated with the city, so the accountants will not get in trouble looking at it. But we will need a motion on that if we want to have that.
I'd like to have some discussion about it. I'd like to hear
Absolutely.
what everybody else thinks, to be honest.
Sure.
So,
Is the bank, if we say you're gonna give us this stuff for no fee, what do they get out of that, I guess? Like, why would they agree to that?
banks are known for doing things out of the goodness of their hearts.
Really?
Yeah. No, not
Oh,
any that I have seen, anyway.
So,
Premier
like
Bank
I
has been-
said, we would have to solicit. We would have to solicit a bank. So, in other words, we'd have to they have no prerogative to do this for us free unless we tell them what our mission is, and then we say, hey, this is how you're helping our mission.
Well, they could also get a little byline somewhere down the line too.
Absolutely.
Thank you for so-and-so bank, funding our cause or whatever.
Urban Forestry.
Yes.
Well,
Looking for advertising.
there's been more to it. I mean, we had donations. We had a donation of $5,000 by a community member for signage for the Arboretum. We spent about $2,500 of that on the signs that are in the education building right now. Nice signs. And in the meantime, when the third Purple Martin house was purchased, Eric had said the city would pay for that. Well, guess where that came out of? That came out of our city funds. So instead of having $2,500 still to spend on more signage for the Arboretum, we have $1,300. And so,
Yeah, and we saw none of the 25,000 that we helped the city earn. We saw none of that. That being said, the city did a lot of work out there, and they had to keep track of the records and what they did, and
Yes.
they used their own funds in addition to the 25,000 that came in to help with stuff at the park. But that money never showed up. It's not helping us as far as having a guarantee for the tree sale. So, I I mean the city has benefited very nicely from what we've done, and we want to be partners with the city. But I don't think we should be strong armed by them. I think we have to have a working relationship with the city.
I'd like to take the strong arm thing out of there and just go back to what we have. In the first place, in order for the city to get the $25,000 grant, they invested $75,000, nearly $75,000. Most of that was employee hours because they planted everything. They dug up every bed. They put down all the mulch. Everything was done by them. All the equipment was accounted for. Andy, kept a record every time he used a backhoe or every time he used a bobcat, every time something had to be done. So, I mean, it isn't like this was just a gift. Yes, it is a gift because the city has, had 200 and some more trees in that park at the end of that project. Eric very much supported what we were doing and was very much behind what we were doing. And I think if he had stayed here, 5,000 from that 25,000 would have gone into the park improvement fund like he told us it would, like he intended. So I don't want this to sound like some kind of adversarial relationship. It isn't an adversarial relationship. There are just rules that we have to go by. If we, each time we've held a tree sale, we've been able to order trees and send the bill to the city because a city is going to pay that bill. If we were ordering those trees as Whitewater Urban Forestry Commission nonprofit advisory committee to the park department, we have no stature who's going to take a few $1,000 order from us. And so the city benefits and we benefit if our mission is to keep doing tree sales and getting more trees, native trees in particular, into the community. That's a beneficial relationship for both of us. I don't see a real big problem, I guess, in closing this account, putting the money in the 245 account, or if, in any case, eliminating the 240 or the tax ID account that we have now. The way Karen wrote it was specifically close current account, give us the balance to put into account 245, and the city will continue to front us the money, or get a different account, keep that money not in the city's coffers, and find your own way to buy the trees, basically is the long and the short of it. So we are not a private entity. We are just an advisory committee to the city.
So then
So,
if we're not, if we're not considered a city committee,
Well, we are a city committee of an advisory commission, but
we are a city advisory commission, okay. So it would still be, if we went through this and removed we would still be able to, for example, use this room to meet, or?
Correct.
Okay.
correct. Yeah.
And the
So-
advantage, go ahead.
go ahead, Bill. Go ahead, Bill.
The advantage, that little petty, it's basically a petty cash account
Right.
for easy access. But the very few times that we actually need to have petty access, I'm willing to wait for reimbursements. They eventually do come. And I'm not totally in favor of trying to get our own little checking account for free from a bank that wants to give us in return for good advertising for a bank. I'm just ready to just go ahead and close the account and give it to the city's whatever.
To our UFC account with the
Yes.
city. And I don't see anything wrong with us stipulating, maybe even having something written that deductions aren't made from that account by the city without contacting Urban
There you go.
Forestry. Because when I got the report from Karen Dieter, I was so surprised because it was never mentioned to me that any money had come out of that money. And I felt bad because I solicited this donation and it was generously given. And I said, we're going to do this with it. And they were all on board with that. And here, 1,500 of it is gone. And I didn't know anything about it.
So I'm going to mention it a different way. I'm going to say, hey, the city's, if we put that money in to the city, consider it gone. It's gone. They will use it. It's going to show up on their ledger. They will use it for what needs to be used for. And it might not include us. So I would say if we're willing to give that up, don't ever just don't even look back, because that is what could happen. And
Can you put something in writing that it ensures that account still says with the Urban Forestry?
Well, right
And
now
hold
it's
them
account
liable if
number
they don't.
245.
it's
Is that account, is that Urban Forestry city account, is that in its own entity for us? Or is it mixed in with a bigger Park and Rec account?
The way that I understood it when Eric explained it to me when we were working on the grant and going through the grant and doing our reports, was that there was a category for the Arboretum, there was a category for donated monies for urban forestry. So like when we did our chimney swift tower, for instance, when we raised $2,500, that went into, a category. According to Karen Dieter, and she's been here for a long time and she knows her stuff. I'm sure she knows where every dollar we've ever, has ever gone through the city coffers. She's very good. And she said the fund that we have is Fund 245, and that is for urban forestry. It's under the park budget, but that's the money that is remaining for urban
So it's like a
forestry.
sub-account of,
Right,
Park and
so,
Rec?
yeah, right. So apparently there really isn't a category, as Eric explained, that was for just the arboretum, because we wanted to keep the arboretum safe or separate in case we wanted to turn it, to get a 501(c) or something at some point and have it be
Its own entity.
its own thing as part of the city. Because it would give us other options, for fundraising and things
So
like
is
that.
Karen willing to do all these sub?
She's leaving the end of February. She's retiring. And so that's why I was,
This February?
yeah,
Like the end of the week?
yeah, in a couple of days.
Yeah, like, so,
Which is why I
so
was happy that this was gonna be discussed at this meeting so that we could decide what we wanna do and,
there is going to be a replacement for her. He's already the replacement's already in, so it doesn't
Jeremiah
have.
are here, yeah.
Oh, Jeremiah's gonna do that?
I think, well, I don't know who's gonna be the comptroller, but I know that they are in the loop on what the finances are, so.
The advantage is, if we can know that the account for forestry is safe and it's not being mixed in or taken from by anybody else other than an authority of our treasurer from that, with the approval of the city.
Well, it would
The-
have to
the
be
advantage
the
is-
approval of this board.
Right, and approval of the board.
Right.
But the advantage is that we have access to be fronted a whole lot of money for trees. Otherwise, we can't do it ourselves.
Well, no, and the city gets a better price than we would ever
Right.
get, and when we add our order to the city's order, that helps everybody's.
That helps.
food,
Yeah, I
so-
think I need to go back to the city and talk to the city. We're not using our leverage enough with the city because the city does get better pricing on their trees. Um, we both save on shipping when they're shipped together. So I just need to go back to the city as far as to talk to them because they want to work with us. So I don't. That's why maybe we're not ready for making a solid decision on this today. We've spent 30 minutes on it, so let's move
Well,
on.
we've been hashing this thing over for 4 meetings now, right, basically? And it looks like we have to close the account, our private account,
Yep.
and make it an account with the city with its own number that can't be rated. And I prefer that than opening up a second account for free for petty cash.
Does anyone else have thoughts?
It seems like a lot of work for little benefit.
Does anyone else have thoughts on this?
I'd like to know what you think, Andy, or do you have any thoughts?
This stuff would all be Kevin's, not mine,
The,
because he's the overall park budget. So it's gonna be him, not me.
yeah. Well, and at one point we wanted money to go, I hope things have happened like they were supposed to happen. We wanted, somebody cuts down a city tree on Prince Street and they have to pay $250, although they should pay $1,000. And to have that tree replaced, that's supposed to go into the Foresters Fund. That's supposed to go into your fund to go toward trees. I don't know that happens.
It's pretty rare when somebody cuts down a tree anymore without me knowing about it, so.
Yeah. But anyway.
Andy, do you have any other thoughts on this particular situation?
Just from what you guys are discussing, it sounds like you have a bunch of questions left, so I think you ought to get answers to your questions and come back to it, unfortunately.
Find out if we can get something in writing that when we put this, if we put this money in here, that it would be
Be safe.
used, that it would be safe.
Right.
That it isn't gonna just end up.
Josh, any thoughts with you, Josh?
Well, one of the things I just wanted to ask is if we did move it to an outside account, then we wouldn't have tax exempt anymore, correct?
Right, we would
So
not,
everything would be more expensive.
right.
And you're not
So,
gonna get all this pricing in.
And I'm not a real treasurer, just so you know. I mean, I can add and subtract a checkbook, but I didn't go to accounting school.
so
Yeah.
I don't know that we get tax exempt because we had to charge tax on everything that we sold last year. So I'm not 100% sure on that.
The way that that works, and it is really confusing, but the way that that works is that at the tree sale, because we are selling to people, to regular people, not to the city, those people are not tax exempt, so they pay tax. So that when we set up all the prices and we figured what we're gonna pay, we prefer to have it set up so that everything is an even amount. You know, it's $25 or it's 30 or it's 60 or whatever. We don't have change. And we just deduct, when I'm doing the paperwork afterward, we deduct what that tax was from the total from the trees, if that makes any sense. And then the city is getting the taxes as part of the price of the tree so that
So we're not tax exempt at that point.
So you would be tax exempt if you bought 100 trees and went and planted them and then sell them.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
would be tax exempt
right,
for that purchase. But because you're sending that on to a consumer, then you have to pay the tax on it.
they pay the
So,
tax.
so,
Right. Yeah.
so we'd be tax exempt on the trees that we give to the city then.
Correct. Yeah, anything that you guys planted in Arboretum would be tax exempt.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, there you
But
go.
if you
There we have
sell
it.
it to somebody, then it becomes not tax exempt.
And like anything, like when you're making the purple Martin houses and stuff, right? You're buying stuff, you would be buying that stuff tax exempt, correct?
Correct.
I paid that out of my pocket, which included the tax probably, and then got reimbursed from Sherry's petty,
Oh,
my
that's right.
petty account.
With the expansion with the gourds and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so technically, if he would have came, to Kevin or whatever and said, hey, I need these, and Kevin went and bought them, then there would be no tax.
Gotcha.
But because he went out on his own,
But you got reimbursed for all.
yes, right.
Got reimbursed. Another,
Yeah, Can I ask Carrie the same question on this, Carrie and Carol? Just so
Well,
we can.
Yeah, I think like after listening to this, I'm more prone to go with the idea of turning it over to the city. It seems like it's a small amount. I worry about the delay of like trying to like solicit a bank for that. I guess I don't know the background of where would we get funds to sort of like purchase these trees.
right, we don't,
We would have to.
what we've always, the way that it's always worked is that we pick up the trees, Nick orders the trees, chooses the trees,
Right.
orders the trees, we pick up the trees 2 days before the tree sale, we get everything priced and organized, the sale happens, everything is sold, and I do all the accounting over the weekend, and
Yeah.
on Monday morning, the money is here.
So the initial money though to purchase the trees comes from the city.
Right.
Well, it's on the city's name.
It's on the
You
city's
know, the
name.
city
Yeah.
will be, the city has sent a bill.
To me, it seems like that's the safer option for, I think you could, is the same sort of argument to sort of say, can they put some kind of restrictions on an account? It's a small account. I would imagine that you could say like, it's got to go through this board and through like us to discuss that. I don't see that as a very contentious issue of,
You wouldn't think so.
yeah.
You know, in the
So-
past, we were gonna buy something, we voted on it, and then
Yeah.
So just to let you know, if we continue doing it the way that we do it, we give everything to the city, and they just say thank you very much, and whatever profit that we just earned is gone. We don't say, hey, we are giving you this amount. No, it doesn't show up. It's just gone. So just to let you know.
Well, that's true, that's always been true. I mean, when we conceived of this with Eric, the idea was that anything that we made over the price of the trees, so anything that the city wasn't going to pay back to Johnson's Nursery or to Possibility Place would go into this Arboretum account. That's what was supposed to be happening.
But
That-
it hasn't happened. There's like
hasn't.
probably
So I think, what Karen said and what Kevin said, and I think it's completely reasonable coming from either one of them. What Eric said doesn't matter. Things have to be in writing. So maybe what we need to do is as we go forward, get it stipulated as a policy or something, as opposed to, I mean, I'm sure it's not like they're going, boy, can't wait to get our hands on all that UFC money.
Yeah,
You know what I
because
mean?
No, I
It's
agree.
just-
I think we're a city committee and we should stay tied to the city.
Right,
And as I suggested, you need more in writing to make sure these things just don't vaporize and go
right,
into the general fund.
yeah.
And now
It's
you're saying that didn't happen before, correct?
it's
Well,
always when so far the money evaporates every time after we're done with the sale. So the last 3 years, the money evaporated after every sale.
but we are really not a for-profit.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to.
I'm,
we're
I'm,
supposed to
I'm,
break even.
Yeah.
I'm not,
that's-
I'm not,
Yeah, yeah.
The point has always been to
Just
get more
cover your
native
costs.
Yeah.
trees into the community,
Right.
into private spaces, because the
Right.
city's already, every year they plant. I think the highest Chuck did was almost 150 native tree, almost 70% native, but about almost 150 trees one year.
Yeah,
That's a lot of trees going into the ground in the public space. So our goal is to get trees in the private space, in the
Right.
community, whatever.
So Nick, so the expenses for the committee or whatever, like what are you most worried about, I guess? So like, it's not like we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. So like,
no, we're okay. Here's what happens. Okay, we do the sale. We take all this effort, and then at the end, hey, we would like to do such and such with it. Well, we don't have the funds for it. We don't have any money for you to do anything. Right? No, we don't have any money for you. That's what we hear. And it's just like, okay, well, that's great.
so
We
that,
sent you money, but you don't have any money to help with this because you're tight on your budget,
okay, so that's, I
right?
guess what I was getting at is you have experienced as a committee, because Carrie and I are new, right? So you have
Yeah, yeah.
experienced as a committee in the past where you've said, we would like to do X, and they say, you don't have any money.
That actually, I don't think has happened. At one point, Wild Ones was in Oshkosh for a conference. We all met here. We went up there. They paid for
I went.
us to go. You went once, and they reimbursed us for that. So it isn't that they have not supported us, or what we've been working on.
And if we
It
break
isn't that.
even-
It's just, the goal was never to make money. The goal
Correct.
was to get trees.
Right, and if we break even on trees, we're not expected to earn more money to go to something like a third Martin House, which they gave us out of,
Our funds.
yeah.
They didn't.
And at this point, there's no reason to have more Martin houses or raise money.
So
We're not in a fundraising type of situation. We're just to provide trees to the community and break even.
okay, so I guess there's some projects at the park that we would like to do, like a path around it, or to add more trees to it, or add more signage. Or where do you get the funds for this, Bill?
Up until now, we've solicited them from individuals and groups.
Yeah.
And that's the money that we've been operating from. I mean, Generac donated the $15,000 for that building.
Yeah. And
People believe in what we're doing, and so they support what we're doing.
so in order to get bigger projects done, you have to get money from somewhere.
Well, here's an example, Nick. Here's an example. Territorial came down. Part of that tree is supposed to be used as a natural playground. Okay, when that happens, you and I aren't gonna be out with a backhoe,
Yeah.
moving chunks of monster tree around. That's gonna be city employees that are doing that. That won't be
Absolutely.
unless the
Costs
city
money.
agrees to it. Well, we don't have the equipment and the liability of having a bunch of us over there doing stuff at a city park. You know, the city absorbs a lot. This is a reciprocal relationship. We just have to figure out how we want to go forward. And if, you know, we have already spent like 40 minutes here, so
Yeah,
maybe
we
we
need
should
to-
table this
We
and
need to
Okay.
table this. or do
come.
something.
Okay, yep, let's table that. We'll move on. Let's get to the next thing. Staff report, please.
The other thing I
Andrew?
got for staff report is the structural pruning of the smaller trees is continued.
Awesome.
I want to know,
Appreciate it.
Andy, who went crazy on that beautiful, magical linden that was at Starin Park, just the side of the sidewalk by the university. That tree, it's a linden that we have tagged. It's like this monster. I went walking through there last fall
Where
and
is it?
almost started crying. It's Starin Park.
Yep.
I'll take you. I'll show you where.
Yep. Okay, discussion and possible action on the related to the territorial oak. Is this part of your staff report, Andrew, or no?
It's a part of the tree.
No, I'm still waiting for you guys to decide what we're doing with this thing.
Okay, so
Okay,
let me.
can I ask a question first? Andrew, how much of this oak is available, and what are some of the proposed um, actions with it?
I have the entire tree at my shop.
Well,
Okay,
not the branches.
Well, yeah, Cherry has the little branches and the leaves and whatnot, but I have the wood is at my shop.
entire tree wood at shop. Okay, so it's got to be getting in the way then.
Oh, it's
It's been in the
definitely,
way.
he would like it to
Okay.
be.
So it was brought to me to try and make some cookies, big slabs,
Yep.
which I did.
And they're beautiful.
And Sherry came and looked
Absolutely
at them.
beautiful.
So those are available whenever somebody wants to come get them. That'd be great.
I've been doing some networking.
I did
trying
find
to-
out when I cut that it's not one tree, it's actually two trees,
Okay.
which was kind of cool.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm basically just waiting for somebody to decide what they want to do with this thing. So that's where I'm at.
One of those cookies is to go to the Historical Society. We remember, Dan Richardson came to a couple of our meetings when we were taking the tree down. Because
City or Sherry, would you like to get him an address of the person to give that to, or a way to get him that?
That's
I think Pat's our caller, but the bottom line is it's not like somebody can go and pick one of these up and put it in the back of their sedan and take it somewhere. These are massive slices of oak. So it's been very cold and stuff, and we haven't been like outside sanding and doing stuff, but one of them is gonna be at the Historical Society. One of them is gonna be the donor sign for
So
the
what I'm
Arboretum.
trying to get is an actionable item here for Andrew. Is there a way that we could what's it going to take for one of those to get moved to the historical society? Any thoughts?
He comes with a pickup or something, and I put it in the back of the truck, and then it's theirs.
And they try to figure out how to get it out.
But doesn't it need to be like,
Sanded and
Processed.
Oh, yeah.
processed and
Yeah,
all
It's
that
just rough
stuff.
cut.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
How much is it?
So-
Leah?
So do we have to make a motion or something to say, hey, let's get this donated to the historical society?
I don't think we.
May
can-
I interject, please?
Yeah.
Sure,
Pat
please.
Blackmer.
Sure.
The Walworth County Historical Society also wanted a portion of the territorial oak.
And
Is
they
that
can
the
have
one
it
you're
all.
Not
Awesome.
only the Whitewater Historical Society, but the County Historical Society.
Walworth County wants one, yeah. And we have all this in our minutes. Going back, the problem is the trees have to age. The tree had to be cut, and that was when Andy could find time to do it with all of his other stuff. You know, Ross Walton contacted us. He wanted to make a table out of one. They now have two trees to work with because they took two giant oaks down at the library. So I don't know if he's still interested in doing
Do
that.
you have contacts for the Whitewater Historical Society and Worth County Historical Society?
I do for Whitewater, and Pat does for Walworth
Okay.
County. So
Can,
In
can,
addition, I would like to ask one more question.
Sure, go ahead,
Since the territorial oak was a local landmark, what is the intent of the Urban Forestry Society in terms of the stump that has been left? Or can Andy comment on that from the city perspective?
I've been waiting for direction on what somebody wants done with it, so I've left it. I have the signage and the
rock with
the big rock that was there, also plaque, I guess you'd call it. That stuff's at the shop, so I've been just waiting for direction on what y'all wanted to do with this thing, so.
Well, I've asked that the signage be put back up, but I was hesitant with the fact that, you know, if you're going to remove the stump, that's one thing. That would not be necessarily in the purview of the Landmarks Commission, as long as the signs go up.
So you're saying you want the stump left with the signs back, is that correct?
I'm saying that, is it a safety hazard to leave the stump? I don't know. I mean, what is the preference? And in addition, I would want to work with the Urban Forestry Commission. What is their preference?
I'd like the stump to stay. If we had had money donated for it, this all happened real fast. We could have had it cut halfway and had that, had the marker put on the actual stump itself still in its place. Keep in mind though that anything that we keep in the ground is going to keep decaying, you know, and there's a bunch of the center of it had quite a bit of rot. So I mean, it's a matter of time. I have a spam call. So I mean, the reason that
should we vote as the Urban Forestry Commission what we'd like done with it, and then Andrew knows what to do?
Yes, we have.
Well, I don't think it's just totally your decision. I think that you should vote and explain your position, and then it should also go to Landmarks as well.
Right.
Okay, that sounds fine to me. I mean, would anyone want to bring up a motion on what they would like to do with this stump, and then we can vote on it, and then we can move forward? No motion brought up. I say we will not take action on this, so we're going to move forward.
Bill had a comment.
Okay.
The signage for the oak, the territorial, is that on a rock that would go on top of the stump?
No, it's
No.
It's a
3 4 foot tall.
Oh, 3-4 foot. And how would that, is that easily taken as a stolen, or is that?
No, it's pretty heavy.
It's pretty heavy, so it would be permanent.
Yes.
It is, yeah.
It was permanent already.
It's
Yeah,
been there.
It was removed so it didn't get damaged, along with the sign.
Okay.
I remember the rock too. Is there a
So
rock?
is there?
It's
Is
not
there
a rock,
any-
it's a monument.
No,
That's
it's a
on there.
monument, it's not a rock.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a monument.
There isn't any reason that we couldn't put that monument back now if you had time to do that until
But
we
once the
figure out
ground
what's gonna
thaws out,
happen.
I'd put it back, yeah.
So is there any action that Urban Forestry wants to take on this? Is there any motion that wants to be made?
Let me ask Andy more questions. Number one, is it a concern of yours? Would you rather move it one time, or would you be okay with moving it now? And then if the stump ends up having to be ground, or because of rot, or if, you know, then it would have to be.
That's kind of up to you guys. I mean, the marker represents where that tree was. I don't really have an issue with that marker staying there once the stump's gone, to be honest with you, because it's basically as a remembrance of where
Right.
that tree was.
Right.
So no, I really think
Kind of like a tombstone.
that basically, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So no, I have no thoughts on moving it once it's back in place. The only thing I would like to look at is maybe lowering it a little bit, because it sticks up pretty tall.
Yeah, it is pretty tall.
So maybe taking off, 4 or 5 inches, try to bring that thing lower to the ground. I mean, if somebody's gonna hit it, they're gonna hit it, but I'd have to check. I don't think there's any statutes on how long stumps can remain or whatnot.
Yeah.
A stump statue.
You'd be
The stump
surprised.
statue. You wouldn't be surprised.
So would we like to make a motion to have Andy check into if there's any statues?
I'd like to make a motion that Andy go ahead and move the marker onto the territorial oak.
Put it
And
back.
then with approval of Historical Society.
No. The Landmarks Commission.
I mean,
The
landmarks.
Territorial Oak was a local landmark, and putting the rather hefty weighted monument on top of the Territorial Oak stump would be absolutely logical. I mean, it would eventually sink in. It should go back where it was. The marker should go back in its original place next to the Territorial Oak.
Bill, would you like to change or update your motion?
So that was two different things you said there. You said, I had no intentions on putting the marker on top of the stump. It was going next to the stump,
Yeah.
back where it was, just to clarify that.
Yep.
Okay.
Bill just misspoke. But I just wanted to clarify it.
It's going
Next.
back where it was, next to the
Perfect.
stump, not on top of it.
Okay,
That's gonna create a whole,
I'm
no,
not
I don't
getting a
want
picture
that at
here.
all. So,
Fine.
yeah, no,
Okay.
it'll,
We're all on. Okay. I'm going to clarify it. What Bill's motion now is that we're going to have the marker back where it used to be. He would like to get the marker back to where it used to be. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. Is there a second on this by chance?
Seconded. Carol seconded.
So let's all vote. Who's in favor, say aye.
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 Who's opposed, say no. Okay, it passes. We're gonna, what the urban forestry is gonna ask for the marker to be put back where it was before, and then it's up to the landmark commission to see if they agree. Okay, we made action.
All right.
Good.
One more
This-
question.
Sure, go ahead.
Your preference is that the stump remains. Is that correct? The Urban Forestry Commission is that the stump remains.
Is there anyone that want to make a motion that the stump remains for the urban forestry?
I'll make a motion that the stump remain for now until we have time to figure out with landmarks and other interested people what.
Do we have a second on this?
Second.
Okay, let's vote. All in favor with leaving the stump the way it is and work with the landmark commission. Everyone in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Everyone opposed? Okay, it passes. We're gonna leave the stump as is and then work with landmark commission on future endeavors with it. Okay, perfect. Do you have anything else? I forgot the caller's name.
Pat?
Yeah.
No, I do not. I'm going to sign
Okay.
off now. My interest was the Territorial Oak as chairman of the Landmarks Commission. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you
I
for
appreciate
coming.
it.
Thank you for calling in. Okay.
Bye-bye now.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Still on the
Discussion of possible action on making alternate a permanent member of the commission.
I have a question for the staff report. For the staff, well, I suppose we could ask.
Yeah, we're not going to go back to that at this point. We have to get through the rest of this. Discussion of possible action on making alternate a permanent member of the commission.
Do we have an alternate?
It's just an item that's on the agenda.
I was the alternate.
Yeah,
so-
and you're permanent now.
I thought.
Did
I
they
was
already do
like-
that? I
I
thought
thought
so.
that was already done.
Yeah, that's already been done. But we need a new alternate then.
Okay, so we know that we need a new alternate, so we'll just go after new alternates. We'll just cross this off for number 4. Discussion and possible approval of landscape plan for Martin Bauer located at 411 North Newcomb Street. So that should be in your packet. I believe this,
So the only thing that's changing on this is the southeast corner. They are putting in a dumpster pad and adding 6 arborvitaes around it. The piece to the northeast is already an impermeable surface. They are making loading docks, which would remain an impermeable surface, so they're not changing anything. There's really nothing to this, honestly.
okay, so I mean, you know what? Use arborvitae, use red cedar. Either one's going to be fine with me. So I don't see. I mean, we can say as the Urban Forestry Commission, we do need to take a vote on it and say, hey, does anyone want to say that this plan is good as a motion?
I move that we approve the dumpster pad and the 6 arborvitae.
Does anyone want to second Sherry's motion?
I'll second it.
Okay, we're all going to vote on this. Yay, or everyone in favor say yay.
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 So I was on Newcomb today, and where is this?
So you know where Martin Brower is?
What's that? Say again?
Bill asked where this place is.
Yeah.
So you know where Martin Brower is, the big on the corner there?
Oh,
It's right to the south of that.
Okay,
So it used to be straightforward call center, I believe. So they purchased that building.
Is there any other discussion on this? I guess I should have asked. I'm sorry before we vote.
No, that's
Is there any
okay.
is there any other discussion?
No, I think we voted.
we voted.
We're good.
Okay, I guess I just didn't hear you. Did it pass? Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. So we're going to move on to discussion and possible approval of the landscape plan for a contractor shop to be located at Greenway Court.
Where is that?
Yeah,
Greenway Court is off of Howard Road in the
that's a
industrial
little
park.
cul-de-sac.
It's a little cul-de-sac out there.
Okay.
So I had issues with this once again with species delusion here on trees.
Yeah.
I'm with
So
you.
they put Freeman maple down, which is a broad description, which includes my autumn glazed maples, which are not allowed to be planted. So I went through and made a list of different trees that I would recommend with that.
I did the
Using the
same.
numbers that they gave. I did allow them to keep Freeman maples, but only 4, and 2 would be celebration maples, 2 were Sienna Glens, which have much better branch structure and not necessarily so much codominant leadering.
I used 3 Showy Mountain Ash, 3 black Tupelo, and 3 Yellowwood instead of the 9 Fremont Maple. But either way, I think is going to be good.
Why did you use Showy Mountain Ash?
It fits within the height description. It's not used a lot, and I would say those are the 2 main things.
Okay.
They're beautiful trees.
They are.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
We have probably about 10 in town already.
Can somebody send me what you're
I said
changing to? 'Cause
3 black Tupelo, 3 Yellowwood.
I made a list of stuff. I don't know what the best way to go about doing this is.
So I don't know, planning commission's gonna ask for a specific change in plans. for
Yeah.
their planting.
When I, in the past, when I prepared reports for Plan Commission, I would take a list of what they have and plant instead this.
Okay.
So instead of these 6 Freeman, put in these, this is okay, instead of this, do this, and just went down their landscape list.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna-
basically what I did through this thing is I took their tree numbers and I diversified the entire lot.
Good.
So basically, I ran up 2 Celebration Maples, 2 Sienna Glens, 2 Quaking Aspen, 2 American Beech, 1 Shagbark Hickory. The Chinkapin Oaks is fine at 2 Burrs, 2 Reds. There's a spot next to railroad tracks on the southwest corner, and I think there's a retention pond over there somewhere. Great place for a tulip tree. And an American sycamore gets thrown into the mix too. Just to kind of diversify things and make it not so blah.
Yeah,
Um,
I like.
with
this.
accounting for, getting the size of everything up on everything, because there really isn't a size restriction out here as far as overheads and whatnot.
I like what, does anyone, I mean, would anyone want to make a motion that, between, Andrew's notes and my notes together, that we can get him a plan?
Sure. I mean, who's gonna put it together?
Andrew?
I already got one together. You want me to email you what I got?
I'll send you my thoughts and you don't have to use any of them. How about that?
Perfect. And then I'll get that to you guys.
Yeah, so if they're asking about planning, I have something to
Yep.
Yeah.
get back to them.
Is that good, Andrew? I'll just send you my thoughts and
Yep.
you make the final decision on it and we go. Does anyone
good.
want to make? Does anyone want to make a motion like that?
I don't know if we have to. Do we?
I think
Basically, it's just, you're making a motion on approving the plans as they're changed.
Okay, I'll make
With
a
the
motion
recommendations.
I'll make a motion to approve the landscape plans with the changes, that the city forester is recommending.
Second.
Perfect. Is there any other discussion on this? Hearing no other discussion, let's take a vote. Who all's in favor of this, say aye.
Aye.
Who all's opposed, say nay. Okay, motion passes. Discussion on possible action regarding landscape guidelines. We're sort of out of time at 6:30. Is the city forester, are you able to stay later? Are people able to stay a little bit later, or are we out of time and need to table? Please. Let
I'm
me know.
fine. This has been on here and it's something that needs to get done, so it's up to you guys.
Yeah, I have no idea what this is about, so I'm anxious to hear.
Well, I can kind of enlighten you in that respect.
Okay.
Lynn Binney called on me to ask about this landscaping plan. He wanted it all updated.
The guidelines.
And he said about the point system, and I kind of looked like a deer in headlights because I had no idea what I was talking about.
Mm.
So I said, I'll take it back to the committee and for discussion as far as you want to continue the plan, which I think is in our packet,
Mm-hmm.
which the point system and whatnot.
Yeah.
Or,
You could have read the whole landscape guidelines and still looked like a deer in the headlights.
And then I
because
asked
it is very complex.
Andy, if he would, I don't know if you had a chance to do that.
I did.
Looks
Oh, you
like you
did?
did.
Okay. To go to some other
So-
municipalities to see.
I had the deer in the headlights for
Oh.
you guys. So I went back to try to figure out where, because there nowhere in here does it describe the point system.
yes.
Right.
It was missing. So
Right.
at some point in the game, it was getting revised and that person left and
Sure.
never sent it anywhere. So
Yeah.
I found them.
Oh.
So my boss actually had a copy of them and it should all be in your package. It looks something similar to this.
Guidelines and standards,
No, that's a different,
that's a whole other,
yeah, it
oh,
should be.
that's City of Lone Tree.
So that one I threw in as an alternate to what we have. So surprisingly, a lot of our area communities do not have landscape guidelines on their websites.
Hmm.
We're one of the few that actually you can go to and actually find a button that says landscape guidelines.
Guidelines.
So that was kind of,
So
Kinda
here's the scoring.
so there's some scoring systems on here. Basically, this plan works, but when you don't have this piece, it don't work. So there's really not a lot wrong with our landscape designs once you put the point system with it.
Right, that was what was,
And that was what was missing.
So the the old appropriate plant species and sizes list is definitely not what we want to use going forward, and I'm sure Andrew will agree with me on that. But you
Yes,
already have it in place a new one, which you could just add points to, that would work. So
correct. And basically
Oh.
what we would have to do is we've already approved the new approved tree list and shrubs and grasses. So basically that just needs to get converted over into what's existing here to replace this with a modern date on it that has been revised.
right.
As far as,
uh, can we make? Would people be willing to make a motion that Andrew updates this point system and appropriate plant species with the current plants that we already have, and continue on a point system?
I so approve. I so make a motion. Thank you, Andy, for all that work.
And I'll second it,
Yes.
yeah, that's a lot of work.
So Bill and Sherry, is there
Yes.
is there more discussion? Andrew, do you have more discussion that you would like to? Is there any more discussion on this?
no, because we're gonna stick with this one, so we don't need to discuss the other one that I found.
So basically, you're adding in what was,
So
should
what,
have been there.
The new plantings.
so basically what I'm gonna do is put the point system that was missing back into it.
Okay,
So that allows it to actually make
Makes
sense. And then the approved trees and grasses and shrubs will all get converted into the existing plan and replace what's in there for that.
I get it.
take out the burning bush.
Oh,
Yeah.
who seconded that?
I did.
So
So-
is there any other discussion?
Yeah, just real quick. So if I go back to planning commission, put this on the agenda, all I'm gonna say is it's now currently gonna be updated to our new plantings or our new,
So you can basically tell them it's getting updated to the new approved trees,
right,
shrubs, grasses. The point system has been put back in to that.
right.
So once everything's all done, this can get shipped right onto the website. When you click on that, all this information will pop up there. So anybody that's doing anything like this, they should have a nice breakdown
Ah,
of all the points. This was from 2021, so that's how long this points has been missing
Okay,
Yeah,
off of that, and nobody caught it.
okay.
yeah.
So yeah, we can get.
We had a little turnover.
So that'll, all of our future plans should be coming with a box like this on it.
Okay.
With the points breakdown.
Thank
Oh,
you, thank you
minus
so much for
having to
doing
have
that,
it.
Andy, really, thank you.
and David has his hand up?
Yeah, I was wondering, do you find that the planning commission, builders come in, do they usually submit tree things with it, or is it something you kind of debate and them to come up with?
No, the developer?
Yeah.
You're saying that? Yeah, they come with plans with landscaping things on it, and then we have to approve and, well, like you do,
And switch out the,
just switch out things
Yeah.
that would look better or last longer
or not be invasive.
And part of that problem, why we've been getting so much is because this information isn't updated. So they're using,
I guess it's just the architect, isn't it? It's,
Well, most landscape designers have, you know,
they probably have it on
their
staff.
standard, well, they have their standard designs that they put for apartments or for this or for that, and they all have lots of Stellador lilies, and they all have, whatever. And most of the developers, I think all the developers that we've worked with since we started, revisiting these and recommending, have had no problem with going with native plants and appreciate that the stuff is just put there for them, so.
okay, so you're at having to vote on that yet, Nick?
Yep. No, I was just going to ask one last question. We've had a lot of discussion on this. Is there any last discussion before we do vote on this? Hearing no other further discussion, we're going to ask everyone in favor of having Andrew update the point system and the landscape guidelines let's, everyone in favor, vote yay. Now?
Yay.
Yeah, okay. Everyone opposed, vote nay.
Are you in California or something?
Okay.
Asking for these
Yeah,
other words?
yes, I am. So this motion has passed. Andrew will update this, and this will allow Carol to go to Plan Commission and tell her about the updated. What's that? Updated.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll save for a future agenda item, so you don't have to do it overnight or anything like that.
Okay. Perfect. So
And
moving
Andy,
on.
once those are done, will we all get new replacement ones that have all the parts?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Andy, yes, thank you very much for your effort on this. I appreciate it very much.
No problem.
Tree.
I didn't
Yep.
have to read the whole thing.
Yes, yes.
Discussion on how is funding going to be secured on a continual basis for the future. I am going to hold that, not going to talk about it. Discussion of possible action regarding 2025 tree sale. We've talked quite a bit about it already. I'll hold. Amount to spend on trees. We've already done that. And make sure order contains more of what people are requesting. I can tell you that I have adjusted what has been ordered every single year based on what people want. So I do keep a list of what has sold well and what doesn't sell as well. And I will tell you, last year at the tree sale, we had the most plants that we've ever had, and all except for 4 of them sold. So
Just for clarity, Nick, number 8, you were putting onto the future agenda item then, because we're tabling it?
Period on a continued. So when it's talking about the Tree City, yeah, I think so. Yeah, we're gonna have to put that on the future agenda because of the earlier 40-minute discussion, I would say.
Right, and so number 9, you're just gonna put back on there also then? Or are you done with number 9?
No, I think we can get rid of number 9.
Okay.
And
So the
amount to spend on trees, we can get rid of as well.
Nick,
It's
you've
already
already,
been,
the orders have already been placed?
yes.
Yeah, I was missing for a bunch of meetings, so I apologize. But that stuff is already all in place.
Yes, it's already done.
So amount to spend on trees is sort of
Yeah.
already done.
Yeah. But what we do need to put on for future agenda items is we have to get all the advertising documents put together. And we have to get the trees put on the arb@starin.org website. And we have to.
Can you send me a list of everything that's up? Can you give me copies of the orders and then I'll go through and set things up for our
Yeah, are you
website?
able to? Yeah, if you're able to change the website, yeah, I can tell you everything on order. Yeah.
Well, I'll work with Jim and have him put the stuff in, but I'll get him all the information. I've done that in the past. Okay.
Yep. And then, of course, we're going to have to get all the advertisements that are made. We'll have to get them actually into locations, probably before our next meeting or right at the same time as our next meeting.
What's the date of the tree sale?
Arbor Day.
Arbor Day.
Arbor Day.
Oh,
Arbor Day and the 2 days after Arbor Day.
What does that fall on this year?
I believe that's a Friday.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay.
Yep.
So we'll have to figure that out. I know our Main Street banner bit the dust last year, so we may want to talk about ordering a new one and stuff. So, but we're going to have to probably, I don't know how we discuss that stuff ahead of the sale.
I think we're going to have, if we're allowed to have a meeting associated with the tree sale, more so than the urban forestry, just the tree sale. We're going to have a special meeting just associated with the tree sale where we're not talking about the rest of the urban forestry stuff. I think that's what we're going to have to do if
Space, maybe?
Say again?
Or we don't have a quorum. Bill would like to work on signs and stuff like that too, I'm pretty sure.
Sure.
So we'll talk.
Is there other people that would like to? I mean, even if we have a quorum, as long as we're not talking about other stuff associated with the uh, urban forestry, I think we're okay.
You put a disclaimer on it too.
Okay.
Or maybe pleasant, but we're not taking any action.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. We will have to do that because many of us work on the tree sale. So I guess this is being recorded. So I will say that we will meet just specifically on the tree sale. No action is going to be taken on other urban forestry events. Is there any other future agenda items that anyone would like to have on the next meeting?
This future agenda item of discussion on how funding is going to be secured on a continual basis for the future, what is that in regard to?
That was associated with Starin Park, actually, in the Arboretum portion of Starin Park. That's what that was associated with originally.
Okay. Maybe we should add that in.
You just did.
He just did.
Anything else? Okay. Does anyone want to make a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I move to adjourn.
Is there a second for that?
Come on.
I seconded something earlier.
Oh,
Oh,
I'll second that.
Okay. So we have okay, we're gonna vote on this. Everyone in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Or
Okay,
yay.
everyone opposed, nay. It passes. We are adjourned.